Hi, I'm Kimberly Allison with Starliner Music, and today we're going to deal with a more intermediate blues playing concept. This is playing the changes. So, for example, in a 12-bar blues in A, you'd have three chords. You'd have A7, which is the 1 chord, D7, which is the 4 chord, and E7, which is the 5 chord. Now, I equivocate this method of learning to play blues to eating a steak, meaning this. If you're going to eat a steak, you wouldn't put the whole thing in your mouth and swallow. You'd take a piece off and chew it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bite off the A7 today and learn how to solo over an A7 really well. That way you can do the same for the other two chords in the 12-bar progression and really learn how to play each change independently and then put them back together so that you can address them as they go by. So today we're going to talk about an A7th chord. Now, if you haven't done so already, please download the PDF on the basic A7th arpeggio. Now this arpeggio we're going to play here at the 5th fret, and it's going to look like this. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the construction of an A7th arpeggio or A7th chord, it is the root, the major third, the 5th, and the flatted 7th. So that's what I just played. Now, unto itself, this arpeggio is not going to be terribly exciting to solo out of. These notes are like the foundation of the chord, just like the foundation of the house. You wouldn't want to sit and stare at the foundation by itself. You'd actually want to have walls and plumbing and electrical and so forth, but they're really what's holding the house up. So let's learn what we can do to make this arpeggio sound a little bit more interesting. The first thing I would do is add in the flatted third. Now the flatted third comes from the blues scale or the minor pentatonic scale. And it's a really great note to add because when you're playing blues, at least in a major key, it's not just a major sounding chord or a minor sounding chord. Actually, the tonality is a combination of both. I always explain blues as being a combination of major and minor happening simultaneously. So the minor third or the flatted third is the dark sound or the minor sound, and then in the arpeggio or the chord itself you have the major third. So what I'm going to do now is play this arpeggio again, adding in the minor third in conjunction with the major third. And you'll see this diagrammed on the PDF that says A7 bluesified arpeggio. So that's at the top portion. So here we go with adding the minor third to the basic arpeggio. Okay, one more time in the ascending direction. Okay, now what we're going to do is talk about the descending direction. This is confusing for a lot of people. I would not play it how it looks diagrammed on the page, meaning like this. To me that just sounds wrong. For the ear it sounds better to approach the major third in from the minor third, and you'll see those notes diagrammed on the PDF. So I kind of give this analogy. If you had been eating candy and then decided to drink lemon juice, it would be a very startling shock to your taste buds. And to the ear, if you introduce to the sweetness of the major third and then follow it by the minor third, it's just too dark sounding. It's better to go in the correct direction, meaning a little bit drier to the sweet instead of going backwards. So we're going to approach into the major third from the minor third in the descending direction. So we're going to treat the notes as a pair and always approach into the major third. So that's going to sound like this. Again. Okay. Next step, we're going to add in one note from the major pentatonic scale. Now this is the other prevalently used scale in blues, the major pentatonic. It gives you the happy notes. The note I'm going to add into the arpeggio is going to be the sixth of the scale. Now the sixth of the scale is located right here and right here. The note is an F sharp, and the sixth sits 1/2 step below the flat 7. So what I'm going to do actually is play the arpeggio, and I'm going to start all the way down here on this 6, which is also an F sharp, and play the pattern shown on the page. So now we've included the basic arpeggio tones, the minor third, and the major sixth. So here we go. And as before, when we get to the 6 and the flat 7, we're going to approach into the flat 7 from the 6. So we're going to go approach into the chord tone from the 6 into the flat 7, just like we did from the minor third to the major third. So here we go on the descending. Okay, one more time up, ascending and descending. Okay, and the other way. So the question I usually get now, what do I do with this? And will it work over all 3 chords? Well, no, it won't work over all 3 chords. In fact, it outlines an A7 so closely that you can't use it over any other chord but an A7. However, if that A7 is occurring in another key other than the key of A, it will still work there. Okay, so in an upcoming video, I'm going to play some sample licks and talk about improv out of this arpeggio, but what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just give you a sample of what's possible just playing the arpeggio only, and we're going to do some bends, hammer-ons, pull-offs, that kind of thing, make it a little more interesting, but I'm going to stay just within the notes given on the page. Okay, so if you haven't done so already, download the vamp on the website starlinermusic.net that says A7 vamp, and that's what I'm playing with. Okay, so that's A7 bluesified.